Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to us. This is MFC
and Patty.
And we are somewhere in the middle. How are you, Patty?
I'm doing well, thanks.
That is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing well. I'm
well,
not doing too bad
well,
myself.
Depending on the moment.
Yes. I'll ask you again in 5,
okay.
and we'll
right.
see where you're at.
Yeah.
Today, we are taping our 3rd podcast for Shades Magazine. If you have not visited us yet, we're at shadesmagazine.com, which is a publication online that celebrates all women of color, news and information. And hopefully you've checked it out when you have stopped to listen to us. And we thank you.
It's a very, very worthwhile read. And I will say that as a woman who is not of color. Let me tell you, it's got something for everybody.
Yes.
It's something we can all fully get behind and support. So I'm proud to be a part of it.
We are proud to have you here and happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So what's on your mind today? Anything interesting, exciting?
Goodness. Where do we start? We are, as we speak, we're taping this. I think we're calling it the first 70 days.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So that's what's on everyone's mind.
70 days of 45.
We are trying not to be a political podcast, but everything kind of keeps coming back around there because it's hard to avoid no matter where you are, what you look at, what you hear. It all comes down to, okay, wait, what's going on? I know that I am waking up every morning. I just check Twitter feed to find out what happened next. And I never really used to be into Twitter, and now I find that's where
everything's happening.
Yeah, that evidently is so. So I don't know, Michelle, you tell me from your perspective, what are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing, it's kind of, there's still a lot of the news. There's still a lot of our elected president, Donald Trump, jumping on in the middle of the night. He's got a lot of things to say. And I'm noticing some quietness, though, on Twitter, more on Facebook, though, that since probably during the last 70 days, probably the last, 15,
you think Kellyanne
30 days.
Phone
Haven't heard much about her either.
She probably has her.
That's true. But I've noticed that people that were very much Trump supporters through 2015 rallied around him and his campaign last November and were beyond ecstatic that he was elected have become somewhat quiet in the wake of news happenings. And I did want to ask you, Patty, about, because you were one, I know you kind of, and you can discuss this if you like, kind of torn. You did vote for him.
I did.
And you supported a lot of things that he did say and wanted. But how do you feel now? I mean, there's been a lot going on.
It's a mixed bag of tricks here. Has he done anything specifically when it comes down to the actions as president of what he was trying to enforce that I hotly disagreed with? I'll be honest with you, no. I liked the healthcare plan that was proposed. I liked it very, very much from my own personal perspective and a business perspective. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be a very workable plan for all people. There's a lot, we can have a whole nother topic on healthcare.
And we will.
Yeah. No, and we'll need to, because it's we don't know what's coming down the pipeline, down the line. I was actually, and you're going to probably shoot me daggers right now, I was okay with putting a temporary ban on immigration from the countries that were identified. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that so much as a religious ban as a ban against countries that were known for their terrorist activities. I was okay with it, not for an indefinite amount of time, but let's put a temporary ban. Right. And I understand there were some civil rights issues or whatever, but I saw it as we have to get a handle on what's going on. And
Right.
until we get all these groups, the CIA, the FBI, whatever, all the powers that be, until they come to a consensus of how do we enforce our laws, let's let them work it out, and then we can open back up the borders. You know, and I understand people will be upset with me for saying that. That's what else has he done? What I'm not happy about are some of the odd tweets. That is concerning to me. I don't like the fact that someone's up at 3 a.m. venting. But here's, again, like where I'm coming from, I will go to CNN, I hear one thing. I'll go to Fox News, I'll hear another thing. I go to another Huffington Post, I hear one thing. I don't know what the hell to believe anymore.
Right.
And that is my problem. So where this investigation with Russia is going, I don't know. But what I'm more concerned about is, who do I believe when they supposedly come up with all the facts?
Right.
And that, to me, is very troubling.
Okay. I see your point there, who to believe. My background is journalism, so, a part of me is always going to, support and, but I also understand there's been a lot of confusion around it. There's been a lot of, the term fake news has come up, and I think fake news really is not the mainstream and what we're used to. It's these small sites, it's these small publications who have jumped up. A lot of them are politically fueled.
Oh, absolutely.
And they just want to get their agenda right on both sides.
Yeah.
And they want to get their message out. And so they've kind of, because of social media, people are thinking, oh, this is news, I'm hearing information. And, definitely you need to look at the source. There is a great diagram as far as, who you can look at and what things you should look at when you're reading news and trying to find out what's real or not. And we're going to have to put it on at shadesmagazine.com and just, make it available under the etc. Section. I think I will do that. But it's kind of interesting, what to believe. Now, getting back, I talked about, kind of the silence that's been there. Do you think that is because people are confused as far as, is what they're saying against my president real or what?
Yeah,
they don't
I
know?
think that's a
And
huge
so,
part of it.
I think part of it, some people would say is like, oh, see, now they're realizing why. And that could be it. But it's also, you don't know what's going on.
Well, that, and also there's such a deep mistrust. And Trump actually played this brilliantly, where he planted that seed of doubt against mainstream media.
Yes.
So now we're questioning. So in the back of a lot of people's minds, it's, don't even worry about what you hear on the news. He's doing his job. We're going to see the results shortly. It's whatever they say, it really isn't relevant. He's holding the course. The ship is moving forward. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. It's almost like we won. We're just sitting back now and waiting for the results. I think that could be a part of why it's silent. They're not trying to convince people anymore.
Okay. I could see that. Now, and coming from the other side, I've kind of wondered, and I think, a couple of people I have actually, seen or heard that it's not that they don't back him anymore. It's not about that. It's not that they're, I don't want to say embarrassed. They're maybe a little confused. Maybe media plays into it, but they just are trying to figure out, okay, yeah, he's set out to do some things he's doing, but they're a little...
It's not getting done the way they had hoped.
Right, and how he kind of put it out there. And that's, a little, confusing
interesting.
to the and
it is
it's like,
interesting. I felt the election was just so incredibly polarizing, and everyone had a piece of their mind they wanted to get out there. So I think what you're seeing, a lot of that is the energy level ebbed a little bit. Like once you make your point, okay, wait, are you going to beat this dead horse anymore? Whereas on the left, people are the polarization is continued because what are they calling it? Keep the resistance or I mean, there's a constant feed in of we have to fight this. So you're seeing that more on the left than on the right. The right is, hey, get your shit together. Can I say that on our podcast?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
you did.
Okay. Oops. Get it together. Quit arguing amongst yourselves. Figure this out. Get it done. That's why we elected you. Do your job.
Right.
We're not convincing anyone anymore at this point.
Right.
We want results.
Now, because, okay, let's, devil's advocate. Let's say things really aren't as good as they seem. That there is a major problem with Russia. I mean, I think that's kind of been determined. It's just who has been involved with it.
Right.
The ban is
Follow the
not...
dead bodies is a quote. Yeah,
if this is all kind of true, is it a, I don't, and I don't think anyone is saying, we're just giving up on him then, but is it just kind of maybe a confusion? That's what I'm taking it as kind of a confusion, or just kind of like you said, go on.
Okay. Again, whoa, I don't want to get death threats. I think it's so what?
Okay.
I think a lot of people are like, all right, well, if the Republicans were talking to the Russians, you don't think the Democrats were? Come on. Something along the way, deals are always made behind the scenes that we're not aware of. How detrimental it's going to be down the line, I do not know. But I also, I think if you could come up with an actual proof that people would believe, again, depending on the news source you're watching, if they show that the Russians had made up information, not just repeated information that was already factual, like with the DNC emails. They didn't make up emails they sent out. They just released ones that were already written. They're going to come. They have stuff on the Republicans too. Don't get me wrong. They have to. There's no way they couldn't. And they release those. See where the cards fall. But I think there's such a deep distrust against all government
anything
at this point,
right,
that everyone's hands are dirty somewhere along the line. Who's going to be the one to get called out on it?
Yeah. Well, there's always, people have always said, government is this, secret society, and there's things, and maybe that was good, and someone coming into the game that is not politically savvy or doesn't really know all the goings on, is now privy to all this information. And, I think that's where some of, at least on the left side, is kind of upsetting, maybe, that someone is able to come in and doesn't, you've heard talk about him not knowing how to handle himself, late night Twitters. There's the question of nepotism now with Ivanka and her husband. Is this the way really to run the White House, run the country? Or should we kind of, he's definitely shaking up things, but is this the time to shake up things?
Yeah. Time is going to tell. I don't know. I mean, I don't have an answer for that. I think when people voted for Trump, what you see is what you got. Nothing he's done now has been different from the way he ran his businesses. And I think that's what attracted people to him. His kids were very involved, and is it good or bad? I don't know. I'm not surprised though. I have to say, um,
Well, I don't think
yeah,
we're surprised either and that was part of the fear
yeah.
of
And now
what
you're
this all
seeing the
means,
fruition.
right?
So,
Because, I think because the secret society, as I mentioned, in government, there are just some things we don't need to know. That's my feeling. I mean,
yeah,
maybe we should, but we've elected people to take care of
to
these
take that
things.
burden for us.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And I think that what Trump has done has come in and said, no, everyone needs to know everything. And I'm not sure if that's really.
are we finding it out though? I don't know. I mean, let's see what happens with these hearings. Are we really
Mhm.
going to be told? That's all the questions were raised, all the fires have been lit. Are we going to get to see those fires actually put out in a satisfactory way, no matter which side you're on? Or are we? Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
this is something that we could talk about for
Oh, days.
hours,
Yeah,
days, weeks.
yeah. It's
And
gonna.
I would.
I'm just kind of watching this play out, and I don't know. I mean, it's weird. There's no other
It's,
way.
yeah.
I didn't used to consider myself a conspiracy theorist, but now I feel like I'm
Mm,
watching a spy novel
yes.
play out in front of me, but it's real and it's disconcerting.
Yes. And I think what is upsetting to me too is kind of like, we have our president, who is dad, maybe. We've got Congress, who is mom. And, they work together to do what they need to do to maintain the household and protect all us children. And now,
Mom and dad are in a horrible fight.
yes, they're in a big fight and things are not looking good. And what they're doing is, you hear situations when people are going through divorce and the kids are being brought in, and it's causing a lot of turmoil, a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And when you have fear, people start doing things maybe they wouldn't do otherwise, and that's what
Oh,
I think
definitely. Yeah.
is happening now. And no, there's nobody above dad, I guess, to come in and say, like a counselor, to say, okay, let's sit down, let's work this out. And I think in a way we need that right now.
So maybe we should just call Ivanka and say, "Lady, take over. You got your
Maybe
office."
I don't believe I'm going to say this, but maybe Oprah is the one to do it.
Can we just get a committee?
Maybe
A committee of strong-minded women that,
we can bring Mother Teresa in.
well, that would be
Okay.
difficult because she's
Yeah.
been dead for a number of years. However, that would be a whole miracle in and of itself.
Well,
Yeah, I
anything
know.
is possible nowadays, though.
Yeah, I know, I
Um,
agree. I don't, when we sit down next time to talk, are we going to be talking about there's been an impeachment? Are we going to be talking about, holy moly, he just solved the greatest crisis ever, or everything is
Right.
fine with China and North Korea, or are we in World War III? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the future, and all we can do right now is take it day by day. We need to remember what's really important and not fight each other, because we're really, on the same side in a sense, and we've got to remember that. And I think that's what a lot
When
of
half
this
of our,
election, and not just because of him, but it was just the attacks, but just, both, I supported Hillary, very liberal, diehard Democrat, but I can see where there were problems, on
yeah,
both sides. And, some people have said, was he the better of two evils? Was he the worst of two evils? Um, I don't know.
we
And
ended up
it's,
getting what we got.
yeah, and we have to
For
deal with
better or
that.
worse.
Right. And we just have to hope that in the end that mom and dad can be friends.
Absolutely.
Can
Co-parent.
co-parent.
Co-parent
Right. That's
all
what we need.
of
Co-parent.
the people in our country, because
Yes.
when half the country considers themselves at odds and are upset and failing, we're all going to fail, regardless of what side.
Right.
There's got to be a way they're going to have to work this out. There has to be.
Because if they don't, the fuel is going to continue to make those flames just burn and spread and like it's already done. It's going into not just the political realm. We're also bringing in all these different issues, societal issues that like racism, sexism, equality. It's just causing a lot of people to step out and step up right now to voice their opinion,
which I think is actually a good thing.
It is a good thing, yeah,
because I think we've become complacent.
True.
For a long time. On
a lot of issues,
All of a sudden, it makes you realize, okay, what is important to me? What's worth fighting for?
Exactly. And I'm going to end it there.
All right.
And we're going to talk about this more. But if you do want to join the conversation or have some comments, want to complain about something you've heard
okay,
today.
I'm ready. I know you're going to... Y'all will hate me, but I'm really a nice person.
She is a nice person. I've known her for more than 40 years. And despite
I can take it.
This discussion, we're going to go on and it's going to be okay because we can do that. And more people need to be able to do that. And that's part of why we wanted to start this podcast, to show that as much. And you may hear us fight one day, but soon as this taping stops and I hit the stop button, it's okay. It's okay. None of that matters. It's just opinion. And what we take from it is that we've learned something. And that's the most important, because when you have knowledge, you have power.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be okay.
Yeah, we are.
So anyway, if you do want to join or comment, you can email us at shadesmagazine, 1, at gmail.com. And be sure to visit us at shadesmagazine.com. We are under the Voices section. And we hope you have a great day wherever you are, and take care of you.
Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.